judgment, but like I fucking love it. Like I fucking love it. It's like so much like when I walk into Disneyland, it's like this like electric energy like surges up through my body, and like the only thing that I can do to like channel it out and away from me safely is just like contract every muscle that I have in my body. And like I live in genuine terror that I'm gonna like walk into Disneyland one day and have like a happiness aneurysm, and they're gonna have to do that thing where they keep me alive long enough to remove me from the park property before I die, because you know no one like technically dies in Disneyland. So I'm here with my LA native friend, and she's like shaking her head in disappointment right now, but like we're friends, hey. So anyways, this love for Disneyland is not just my own, it's my whole family. I'm an only child, but my mom, my dad, and my mom's two sisters, Teresa and Karen, were all like avid devotees. Teresa lives in Seattle, but Karen lives in my hometown of Denver. She lived there. Yeah, Denver, I love it so much. But anyways, we spent a lot of really great times there together, me and Karen. And Karen and I were very close growing up. She was like a second mom to me. She also had this really horrific autoimmune disease called scleroderma, which is this just really dreadful, like disabling disease that makes like your skin really tight and waxy and painful. And I remember she always had like open sores on her hands. Like eating anything really spicy was really difficult for her. It just like wreaks a havoc on your digestive system, and like her hands had sort of like, you know, solidified into like almost like claws. Like she couldn't really move her fingers very well. When she would pick me up from school, the kids would think that she was my grandma. It was this wretched thing, but we still had our great times at Disneyland together. So when I was in 7th grade and she finally died from her disease, my family and I knew that we had to make a pilgrimage back to Disneyland to put her ashes there. So, I don't know why we thought this was like okay, but apparently it's like an actual thing. Like Disneyland has like a cleanup crew that specializes in cleaning up human remains. So like the summer after she died, we like show up on Disneyland's doorstep and we're like standing outside the bag checks, and my mom is like, you know, we're all nervous. We're very like straight edge, like white bread people. Like the only restaurant we go to in Denver is like the same one we've been going to every week for like the past 30 years, La Cueva Restaurante. And you know, my mom's standing there, and she does what any like, you know, good American lady does when faced with a situation like this. She targets the male bag checker and tucks what looks to be about like a pound of questionable quality cocaine under a layer of tampons, and we're in. Perfect. So we immediately book it over to Karen's favorite big thrill attraction, Splash Mountain, which is, you know, tucked way back in the corner of the park in Critter Country. And we're trying to, you know, get there as fast as we can to like limit our interaction with other people, but it's like a very popular ride, so we're there. We're at the front of the line, like, you know, we're loaded onto this flume log. Now these are 6-seaters, so we asked to be sat towards the back. There's the 4 of us, and then these 2 poor ladies who got seated in front of us. And the thing about Splash Mountain is, as its name would indicate, it is like basically all water. And we're not trying to like dissolve my dead aunt into like some of this nasty like flop sweat tourist backwash that like, you know, comes splash down. Like, we're not about that life. But we have 2 good shots right at the beginning of the ride to kind of like hurl her up onto like some solid ground. My mom gets a little overeager and ends up like accidentally underhanding right into the faces of some people who are waiting in line and looking down on us. They're waving their hands in front of their faces and like coughing because like my dead aunt is inside of them. So we're like, oh, we're like, okay, 0-1. But finally, we round the corner and we see it. Yo, dude, that's Where Fox's house. Like, that's the place. And pew, pew, pew. We each grab a handful out of this Ziploc. That lands. We all made our targets perfectly. And it was a moment of utter joy and a little bit of guilt, as the ladies with the white powder we covered them basically. But fortunately, their combined weight with my father in the front end of this log, and my father's of a gentleman's girth, the splashdown was enough to remove any trace. And now I know that when I grow up and I have my own kids one day, I'll take them on a pilgrimage to Disneyland, and I'll tell them, the remains of your dead aunt are on top of that mountain.